This is an ion audio block rocker, and it's been used by the Navy. By the looks of it, they've been using it as a boat anchor. But it has microphone input, instrument or another microphone input, aux input, master volume, and an iPod or iPhone dock on the top. On the back, power input, charging switch, option to charge the iPhone, and an output and a battery meter. This is non-functional. I believe there's supposed to be a voltage selector there as well, but it's missing. I'm going to take this apart and see if we can get it going. Look what I found floating around inside, not screwed to anything and not connected to anything. There appears to be the circuit board for charging. I'm pretty sure that takes care of the charging circuit. The transformer should be screwed down here, but this thing's been dropped, so it's come loose and the wires came off the IC connector and the connector came off the board. Yeah, this thing's had a bit of a hard life. There's the preamp board, or it seems to be. And charging board and the speaker, which is currently only held in by one screw, and a little tweeter, which has a screw in it. That's not going to be very good. Just checking the primary on this transformer, it doesn't appear to be open, which is a good sign. And in here, it doesn't seem to be much on that board. That looks like a kind of weird fuse or something. That board, which I said was the charger board, actually does everything. It's the amplifier as well. The speaker appears to be in good condition. The tweeter, not so much, but hopefully I can just pull that out. Maybe use a vacuum cleaner or something to get it out. I don't know, we'll work something out. I'm going to take them out for now. I've taken the battery out and measured it. I was getting about 2 volts, so I'm going to try and charge it on this bodged up, dodgy homemade charger that I made. Very basic. So I've got that on the amps range. So I've got power. I'm just going to see how much power goes into this battery. Not a lot. Pretty much nothing. I'll let that sit for a while. So now I'm going to remount this transformer in there, and I've got some bigger screws with washers which I'm going to use, so let's see how that goes. I've also found some suitable screws for the voltage switch, which I'm going to screw back to the back panel. Things are never that simple. I screwed the transformer back in place, but it didn't work. Believe it or not, that is the amplifier. It's a Class D amplifier, no heatsink, nothing. Yeah, the main woofer, Richard, 50 watts. It seems hard to believe that that can drive 50 watts. A bit sceptical myself, but anyway, the problem here we're having is lots of corrosion. Salt water's obviously gotten in here. It's not as bad as it looks. The problem I had is this connector, which I've unsoldered. One of the pins is corroded inside and it snapped, and that meant this preamp board was not getting power. So I'm going to try and fix that now. So I'm going to put in this new pin, which I just nicked off an old circuit board. solder it back on and see how we get on. Yeah, now with that connector, with a pin replaced and resoldered, we have power on the preamp board. Not intermittent anymore. Okay, next problem, the amp doesn't seem to be working. Ignore that bodge wire, that's me, put that for the testing. But there it is, two resistors there. And I think one of them might be open or corroded so badly, because there's supposed to be a voltage on this connector. There's 3 pins, signal, ground and the voltage which is created by this potential divider network, and it's not there, getting 0. So we'll have a look. I think I found the problem. This resistor here is so corroded it's actually broken. So let's get those replaced. Here's my dodgy repair. I cleaned up the board a bit with some cotton buds and alcohol, but that's working. I'm now getting 4.5 volts, which is correct. So let's try putting a signal to it and see what happens. Okay, well, I have a source, a DAB radio hooked up. Power's hooked up from an external 12 volt power supply. Preamp board's connected. Temporary speakers connected. Volumes are set to about halfway. Check it out. Nope. Controls need cleaning. Should I stay or should I go? Better not do that for too long. Okay, well, here comes the task of putting all of this back in there. Situation report. This thing is screwed. It's a couple of days later now. I've had to modify this board. This board was corroded. So I've had to... There was broken solder joints as well. I've had to put a bridge there. This control, master volume control, doesn't work, so I've bypassed it. The iPod dock doesn't work, so I've disconnected it. I tried to make a Bluetooth receiver for it. Didn't work. It did work, but it made a lot of whining and hissing noises, so I've given up with that. Probably need some better filtering and stuff like that. So, but I'm going to put it back together and call it done, and let them use the phonos on the front. The phono has its own individual volume, which does work on one channel, which is why I've bridged it there so it mixes the 2 channels. Because I was only getting 1 channel out of it. But yeah, that's it. I'm not doing any more with this. There we are, job done.